Hard Rock Live. That is at 1 p.m. Oh, yeah. And if you can guess the level here, I just had another bite of a crumble cookie. So, yeah, we're going in.
On 30.
We're going in right now. And the Yahoo Sports team has gone in on the best first option, second option, and third option. Chris, going to throw over to you to kind of get this started. I'm curious what they went with and how I'm going to feel, because I feel like I'm either going to feel like the Kings were very respected or terribly disrespected.
Yeah, so this is from yahoo.com, ranking the best first, second, and third options all in the NBA. They started off, of course, with the first, and hold on just a second. It's Sacramento Kings. From their perspective, again, of course, as you can imagine, it's also, there is some confusion here because, obviously with the Kings, I even think there's going to be some debate as to who exactly is there. A first option, probably not much question, but, with their second option, is it the right second option and things like that? Let's go over to the Yahoo article and get these top 5 that they have listed out, and then we can kind of plow through the rest as well. Number 1, they have Nikola Jokic as the best first option, Doncic as the second, Giannis as the third, Jason Tatum fourth, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander fifth. No real surprises there. They do have Victor Wembanyama as the 7th best first option in the NBA, which I think is definitely interesting and probably a little bit forecasting. Another interesting one, they have Jalen Brunson at number 11. They have LeBron James all the way at number 12. I would imagine that's the lowest LeBron has ever been in his career so far. Ja Morant is 13. And let's see here. Tyrese Halliburton is 18. And that brings us to, where does De'Aaron Fox land? De'Aaron Fox, as you can guess by not being mentioned yet, falls pretty low on this list. He falls at number 20, only in front of guys like Trae Young, Lauri Markkanen, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, LaMelo Ball, Zach LaVine, Anthony Simons, Jalen Green, Kyle Kuzma, and Cam Thomas are the 9 names behind De'Aaron. The ones immediately in front of him, Paolo Banchero, again, Tyrese Halliburton, Kawhi Leonard, and they have Zion Williamson at number 16. Again, I think it should definitely, it goes without saying almost, but I feel like De'Aaron, especially today, is definitely higher on this list. I feel like a lot of this is a bit of projecting out. I think De'Aaron Fox today is a better player than Tyrese Halliburton today. That could change 2-3 years down the line, but I just think as an individual, I think De'Aaron brings more to the table than Tyrese does. So I'd probably put him more so at 18 than 20, but I really don't have I feel like that's not a big enough quarrel to like really make a fuss about it. But I do think that it is a bit surprising to see him that low. I'm not necessarily saying it's wrong. It's just, I don't think of De'Aaron as like this has him pretty much in the bottom third of options of being a first option.
This is ridiculous. I mean, I don't even think he should be 15 to me. He should be 15 to me.
I don't think that's I agree. I don't think that there's a guarantee that, Jimmy Butler is at 15. Donovan Mitchell's at 14. Again, I have an issue with Ja Morant at 13.
I have a big issue with, the problem is I'd probably put Donovan Mitchell at 13.
Yep.
I would put probably De'Aaron Fox at 14. To me, Jimmy Butler, it's the availability for me.
I'd probably put Ja at 15,
Yeah, I would put Donovan Mitchell at 13, De'Aaron Fox at 14, Donovan Mitchell Ja Morant at 15. Yep. And then these guys, Jimmy Butler availability, Zion availability, Kawhi availability,
crazy.
Tyrese Halliburton, sometimes he don't even want to shoot. Paulo, to me, got disrespected as well. Paulo Banchero,
especially if they're projecting. If you're gonna have Wemby at 7,
Wemby at 7 is kind of nuts, man.
Nuts. I mean, I'm not even saying it's gonna be wrong. I just think
you can't even call a first option. Don't you have to make the playoffs? I mean,
if you're gonna be an elite first option,
if you're gonna be a top 7 first option,
you should be able to compete. Just you.
Maybe, I don't know. You're talking. What didn't we look up there?
It's too high.
Didn't we look up their projected wins for the Spurs was 39 and a half?
Yeah. It was,
you can't be number 7 and have a projected wins at 39 and a half.
Agreed.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think it is crazy. I mean, there's a lot, and you know what this really does speak to? There's a lot of basketball writers out there who think that Wemby is going to be in the MVP race this year. I have a tough time seeing it. I still think he's obviously one of the best players in the NBA. There's no doubt of that. I just think he has a lot, and maybe it's more me just sticking on. I think he still has a lot of things that he needs to get better at and work on, and he definitely improved miles by the end of last season, but number 7 is just too high for me. I guess that still technically does have him as NBA second team. So again, I could live with it, but just seeing him at number 7 feels way too high. I would still, it's just too high. Now we can move on to second options. We can move on to the second options, which Bleacher Report also laid out here. They have Domantas Sabonis at number 7 on this list. The 7th best second option, and I don't know why it is only showing me the first and third option on here, but let's see. I believe you have this. There we go. Sorry about the choppiness there. So yeah, Domantas Sabonis is ranked number 7 in terms of the second options in the NBA. Again, you can kind of debate who is the Kings' second option. Is it really going to be Domas? Is it going to be DeMar DeRozan? How do you quantify a second option? Is it the person who scores the second most? Right. Is it the person who has the ball in their hands the second most? I think the Kings are definitely the team that complicates that formula probably more than anybody else. Anthony Davis is number 1 on the best second options in the NBA. Devin Booker, number 2. Jaylen Brown, number 3. I've got no issue with any of these. This is maybe where things start to get a little bit hairy. Bam Adebayo listed at number 4. Jamal Murray listed at number 5. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
And that's insane.
Domantas Sabonis falls at number 6 on this list. Of,
Jamal Murray at number 5.
Just outside the top 5.
Is wild.
Sabonis should be top 5. Unquestionably. Yes. Unquestionably. I mean, you can have to me, Bam and Sabonis are the ultimate. They're the same tier. It's just what flavor ice cream do you like?
Yes.
Because Bam is a more defensive-minded, less playmaking, less physical, but he's got a better mid-range jump shot. He's a much better defender, much better rim protector. And they're probably equal scorers, just general, hey, how can you get me a bucket if we absolutely need to? So I think, again, favorite ice cream flavor, you can have Bam 4, you can have Sabonis 5. Either way, Sabonis has to be top 5.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm sorry. And maybe they're giving him the benefit of the doubt. They're giving him the, hey, you won a championship as the second option. And, you might not have looked great for the entirety of last season. You had one of the worst summers a superstar has ever had. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but I just think Sabonis undoubtedly is a top 5 backup option. For what it's worth, number 7, Kyrie Irving, number 8, Karl Anthony Towns, number 9, Pascal Siakam, and number 10, Damian Lillard. Should also mention number 11, Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, Tyrese is too low.
I think there's actually a chance. Looking at the names behind him, actually kind of shocked he's not lower just based off of how it feels like other people view Sabonis. I wouldn't have been surprised looking at some of these other names if we found Sabonis at number 9 in front of or behind Pascal Siakam, just based off of how some of these NBA writers feel about it.
I also think it's hilarious because they just have absolutely no clue what to do with the Knicks. I mean, they have Julius Randle at 14. They just have wait.
Julius Randle's not their second option. I put it at McHale. See, and that's where I think this list gets a little bit squirrely.
Yeah. And maybe it's based on not knowing.
And number 2 option, is Tyrese Maxey their number 2 option, or is it going to be Paul George?
I think it's Maxey, but you could make the argument based on who's rocking and rolling. Yeah, Pascal Siakam being at 9, I think it's a good look for Domantas Sabonis to be above a guy like him, above a guy like Kyrie, above a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. So I have less problem with the number 2 option conversation. I just think that the Jamal Murray thing is insane. And the write-up, people forget how good Murray was on Denver's title run.
No,
we didn't. That was just 2 years ago.
Nobody forgets it.
People forget how good Jordan Poole was 3 years ago. Where's the line here?
For what it's worth, also, your boy Jordan Poole, number 30 on the best second option.
He's going to have a
last in the
season.
league. So, yeah, some
what?
last in the league in terms of second options. Jordan Poole. Yeah, behind guys. This is kind of crazy. First off, wow. How bad are things in Brooklyn? Poor Jordy Fernandez, listed as the Brooklyn Nets' second best option. Dennis Schroeder, a guy who at points in very recent NBA history has been looking for a job.
Yeah.
And is the now Brooklyn Nets second option. Okay, so there you go. Some of the bottom 5 of second options, according to Yahoo here. Bogdan Bogdanovic falls at 25. Nikola Vucevic falls at 26. Tobias Harris at 27. Colin Sexton at 28. Dennis Schroeder, 29. Jordan Poole, 30. Where does DeMar DeRozan fall? We'll find out next.
Coming up next, we get into those third options and whether it is DeMar DeRozan or is it Keegan Murray? Who is it?
Or is it Keon Ellis? Why not?
Is it Neon Keon? Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Then we get into some news around the NBA. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. Continuing to go through these Yahoo lists of the best second and third options. You have De'Aaron Fox coming in at 20th for the first options. Just insane. Domantas Sabonis 6th as far as the second options are concerned. And Chris, you have the best third option ready to reveal?
The best third option. Who is the star in the third role player? At number 1, and this is why I presented the question with Philly, who is their real number 3 or number 2 option? Because falling at number 1 on the number 3 options, try and say that 5 times fast, is Paul George as the best third option in the league, 22 points per game last year. Makes sense, definitely, especially if you're going to classify him as the third option. Rudy Gobert falls at number 2. Kristaps Porzingis falls at number 3. Chet Holmgren at number 4. Desmond Bane at number 5. Number 6, you got Evan Mobley. And at number 7, you've got one DeMar DeRozan of the Sacramento Kings. Number 8, Mikal Bridges. Number 9, Mr. Draymond Green. And number 10, Miles Turner. So there you go. The Kings have the 20th best first option, the 6th best second option, and the 7th best third option, according to Yahoo Sports. I feel like that's great. That has to be, especially in terms of second options. Like, I think the Celtics, and I think the Celtics might be the only team that fits somebody in all top 5 lists.
Well, what I'm saying is I think that DeMar, along with the Mikal Bridges, 2 guys that haven't played with the team yet, they're not going to get the same. Like, I think that DeMar could easily be ahead of Desmond Bane.
Evan Mobley for sure.
Evan Mobley for sure. If Yahoo could say, hey, we have not seen them play together.
Right.
So to be at top 7, honestly, without playing a game is pretty darn good. But you know what, Chris? And I think Rudy Gobert is probably too high, but at number 2. But you know what, Chris? This brings me back to what my buddy initially asked me from the Bay Area when I was telling him about everything the Kings were doing. Everything that you just said that Yahoo just laid out. Domantas Sabonis at 6th, DeMar DeRozan at 7th for best second and best third option. Yes, De'Aaron Fox is 20th, but to me, that should be a playoff team. We should not even be talking about the 8 or 9 seed or messing around with the play-in. So that's why this all comes back to whether and I think that De'Aaron should have been more like 14 on that list, but that's why we need to figure out, as Vlade talked about, we didn't know with De'Aaron and Luka. This season is huge for De'Aaron Fox because everybody else in theory should carry their weight. Domantas Sabonis at 6 for best second option. DeMar DeRozan at 7 for best third option, and he's clutch. You got in my opinion, the guy who should have won 6th man of the year if he didn't get injured, that's Malik Monk. You have one of the best young stars under 25. He's on every under 25 list in Keegan Murray. If everybody does what they're supposed to do, why are we not talking about this team as a 4 seed? That's crazy.
Well, it's because the West is so deep. I think that's really what it is. It's just like, you definitely shouldn't. I mean, I say they should win 50 games. I mean, I definitely think that the expectations are way too low. I think this team is deep enough and it has fail safes built in to where they should be one of the best teams, especially in the Western Conference. But I think the reason why is because they haven't done it before. And I think it's scary to go out on a limb and be the one to say, hey, the Detroit Lions this year are going to make the NFC Championship game. No one wants to be the one that goes out there and makes that stand, because you could look really stupid if they just do what they've done for their entire existence. So I think it is a lot of fear that has led to people not wanting to go all in on this Kings situation. I think it's very clear, especially by these rankings. I mean, if you have DeMar DeRozan in living up to that hype as being the 7th best, or if not better, 3rd option, and like you said, Domantas Sabonis being a top 5 2nd option, that should undoubtedly be good enough. The only other teams that can boast anything close to that are the Boston Celtics. Let's see here. Boston and Minnesota are the only other two, and Minnesota definitely is number 2, and Boston is number 1. The Kings are pretty much 3rd in the list of having the best 3 top 3 players. Like I think that the expectation should be higher, but the problem is with this team, we kind of also are okay if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, but if they just sneak into the playoffs because of the history. So I think the expectation should definitely be 50 wins, but I think the reality is that people just want to see this team in the playoffs, and as long as that's the case, they're going to be happy. But realistically, they should be expected to win 48 to 50 games.
Draymond Green, and you know what? This is why, and Esteban in the Sat chat or in the text line talked about how subjective these lists are, and obviously they are, because the question is the importance versus the talent, right? There is no way on God's green earth that Draymond Green should be number 9 in front of Miles Turner, Chris Middleton, DeJounte Murray. There's no way. Not to me.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it depends how much you value his defense still, I think, and what he, the other things he brings to the team, his defense and his playmaking and things like that. I think there's still, I'm not really the biggest Miles Turner guy. I think Chris Middleton's been injured for the past 2 seasons. That's why. And, I'm also not the biggest. I personally would probably have Draymond still top 10, but that I think it's just a matter of what you think he still brings and how valuable you still think that is.
How about possible disrespect for one Michael Porter Jr. at 18?
18's crazy. 18's crazy. I mean, that is really the biggest disrespect. I mean, look at the names that are in front of him. You got Brandon Miller, Jalen Johnson, Kobe White in front of him. I mean, how are you going to give Alan? Let's not forget. People are quick to forget Michael Porter Jr. 2 years ago was in the NBA Finals, right?
Yeah, what about
where's that same energy?
Yeah, where's that?
You had Jamal Murray top 5 because of what he did 2 years ago. Now, granted, Michael Porter Jr. was kind of trash in those finals, but I mean, I'm just saying, I think you have to hold the same weight. I think MPJ is going to be I could see him being the piece that Denver ends up moving on from. I could see him going to a situation where maybe he really starts to cook.
Whitey, if you're listening,
from a scoring perspective,
Whitey, if you're listening to this, can you make sure that Draper sees this list to see that John Collins is number 28
on third options? On the third options.
Whitey, please, if you're listening, I need Kyle Draper to see this list.
Big fella, I don't care. He's not going to be the third option here in Sacramento.
Give me this list. Let me rip up this list. I'm going to rip up this list.
Let me see that. Let me see that list.
LeBron James.
I don't need that list.
Of the station.
Get your stupid list out of here.
Now, hand me the list.
Come on.
No, I said I don't need the list. Now, come hand me the list again. I told you I don't. He is in front of Jaden Ivey.
Come on.
And Scoot Henderson. Drapes, what are we doing?
He's not going to be our third option, big fella. I don't.
Where's he going to be? By the way, Austin Reeves at 22. That's pretty rough, too.
If Drapes ever listened to this show, you guys would be in a lot of trouble.
Probably punch me in the face.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
Drapes! John Collins!
You would be getting your credentials revoked at the Kings games.
John Collins. Someone's got to unlock him. Who's going to unlock him? Number 28 coming up. Next, we go around the NBA. We have a Kawhi update, a Shams update. Yeah, on Shams himself. And JJ Redick not wasting any time announcing the Lakers starting lineup. Mind the game, huh? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Telling Chris that Yelp, was it Yelp, Chris? The Yelp
Correct.
list came out, and now all of a sudden I'm seeing Instagram promos, or not promos, but this you might like this, whatever the case is, suggested videos for the char market. And the first video I saw looked like some bone marrow, some bone marrow going on. So the char market, what number was it, Chris?
3.
Number 3.
Are we gonna have to DoorDash?
Do they DoorDash?
Do they DoorDash?
Once you get on number 3.
Oh man, Chris is already.
I feel like you might need it fresh.
Yeah, you might. I can't today.
Yeah, that is true.
But char
Why
market.
would you ask that?
Because that's
You
what
got
he
my
does.
hopes up.
We'll get Charizard later.
They got a sponsor, dude. We need to get sponsored by some sort of food delivery.
I'm working on it.
Come on, DoorDash.
I'm working on it.
Like
Okay.
Grubhub.
Do you think this is like a shill thing? Is that what you're implying? Like that, like they're the Yelp. This is a paid Yelp thing.
No,
and
not
a
at all. Not at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying it wasn't from Yelp. It was, those people, when I get on those people that they travel around. And I'll tell you this, back in the day,
Back in my day.
my wife and I, we were one of the first ones to do the food thing.
A&K take the bay.
How did you find that?
What?
Are you a creeper?
I think you told us.
What?
I don't think I did. It was A&K.
Back in the day, A&K took the bay.
That was the name of it. And I'll tell you this much, guys. We did pretty well for ourselves. What happened was it's expensive.
Yes.
It's expensive.
Yes, especially if you're not getting it on the back end, right?
Free meals.
Yeah.
These people are not getting free meals, and all they wanted, and they go and they take the pictures and the video, and you can't tell anything because no one's ever given a bad review.
No, it's always great. It's always the best.
And then I've gone because there are a couple
Pictures are always
places in
great,
Natomas. I won't name them, but we've gone to a couple places in Natomas, and I told Frankie, I said, don't go here.
Yeah.
Because they made it look great. And it was not good.
Never get food in Natomas, really.
And I wanted to tag. I wanted to tag the people.
Yeah.
Say you're lying. Stop lying.
I mean, you've said it before. You should start. Like, I really do think that there is a business model for like honest food reviews.
I will be the Grant Cohn of Sacramento food.
Yeah.
but he's kind of like the anti though. So you got to be like,
even if it is good.
Yeah, even if it is good,
those
it's bad.
teachers that I don't give A's. That would be me.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
If someone gets a B,
you get an A-. Like, oh wow.
Yeah. You're probably going to Yale. You're probably going to Yale.
I mean, you should try
I'm
it.
going to, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the worst part because you can't just get the main course. You got to get all the apps and you got to get their floofy
the whole
drink
thing.
And everything. And
Yeah.
Always got to use fluffy words.
And you got to you're taking all these pictures and you got to order all this stuff. We
gotta
did
bring
it for
your kid.
we probably did it for about that was before the kiddo. We probably did it for about a year, guys. And
that's
I thought
a long time.
This is fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We didn't have as many apps. This is 2015, 2016, and it was expensive.
Yeah.
So these people out there, I don't know what you're searching for, but stop lying.
You should do different fast foods like the Taco Bell on like Manzanita versus the Taco Bell on Madison.
Just save money.
yeah. I'd be like,
days,
dude, the way they put the water in the beans on this one.
See the crunch wrap here?
Yeah.
Less crunch.
It's way different.
Yeah, I got a crunch wrap a couple days ago. Need more meat.
Oof.
Yeah.
Need more meat.
From the 916, our guy Murph, I cannot wait to see the Kings as the number 1 seed in the West this year.
Ooh.
And every beat writer trying to pull their foot out of their mouth. Light the beam. There's always a possibility nobody saw the beam. Thank you, Draymond.
Light it.
Number 9, according to Chris, number 9, third option. Get out of here with that.
That's right.
Terrible. I'll take.
He might be. Who's their second option?
They had Wiggins at 22.
Okay.
They had Yahoo had Wiggins at 22.
Yeesh.
Yeah, look, nobody saw the 3 seed day coming, right? The 3 seed season coming.
Yeah.
So maybe Murph, maybe. We sure hope so. All right.
Maybe on October 25th.
All right, don't start. I had them top 3 last season and I looked crazy. But now we'll have to do our predictions pretty soon here because it's around the corner. It's basically next week.
All
right, let's get to around the NBA.
Da, 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 da.
Let's start with a better option than De'Aaron Fox. Better first option than De'Aaron Fox, according to Yahoo Sports. Kawhi Leonard.
Oh.
Stop me if you've heard this story before. Clippers star. Oh, but did you see that suppously that was 6 years ago yesterday?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Something like that. And
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense
Incredible.
with the media day. 6 years ago,
Uh-huh.
the Clippers star Kawhi Leonard underwent a procedure on his knee in the offseason. Sources told Shams Charania and Law Murray, friend of the show.
Law.
The franchise said today Leonard will be limited to strengthening his knee to start Clippers training camp, but team officials are optimistic about his progress. Chris, nobody really thinks the Clippers are going to do anything. I guess it's possible they could be one of those surprise teams. They're opening up the Intuit Dome, and we know it's going to be beautiful in there. Maybe we'll sneak a trip out there before the season is over. But you're rocking with Kawhi Leonard and what's left of his knee, and James Harden and Derek Jones Jr. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. If you're the Clippers, what's the rush? But also there is a rush because you cannot have empty seats in that arena first season. That's a bad look, Chris.
No, and I'm looking at where Yahoo ranked their options. James Harden as the second option for LA falls at number 16. How crazy is that MVP James Harden is now the 16th best second option? No, 100%. I think I saw actually I think the Clippers did a version of Media Day yesterday, or at least did their press conferences. I believe I saw a weird comment from Ty Lue saying about James Harden. He's going to know the pecking order this season.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if that's saying James Harden is going to be up in that pecking order, or if that's saying, no, James, like, you need to understand exactly where you stand, and it's not going to be at the top of this. So definitely interested to see exactly.
I would argue the opposite.
The comeback of that. Yeah.
You'll be number 2 without Paul George. That's how I would
think so.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a weird headline that I saw across yesterday, and I'll try and get some more clarity on that. But yeah, as the third option for the Clippers as well, I don't even know who it would be. They have it listed as Zubac, who falls at number 23 on the third option. So yeah, there you go. Their second and third options. Oh, well, Kawhi's 19 for first option or whatever. James Harden's 16. Zubac is 23. That doesn't sound like a very good team.
You're trying to get into a play-in
Yikes.
situation. I guess they could get a jump from someone. I know you're not too high on Derek Jones Jr. I mean,
Kawhi's not going to be healthy either.
No,
I don't know what they're going to do.
Look, we want people to be healthy. We want players to be healthy, but I don't necessarily mind a Western Conference team that you don't really have to worry about.
I kind of wonder, actually, this thought just popped in my head. Are we going to see maybe, like, could this be a James Harden redemption season? Like, where maybe numbers-wise, exactly, where Kawhi's going to be out a lot of the year. Their second best player, if Kawhi's not playing, is apparently Ivica Zubac. A lot of pick and roll with James Harden and Zubac. Like, maybe it looks a little bit like the old Houston days, and he just has a crazy high usage percentage. And, they do still have my boy Norm Powell. They've got some good role players out there. I don't think they're going to be great, but I just think they're going to be very interesting. I don't know if they'll be a league pass because I'm not sure they're entertaining, but I'm just fascinated to see what exactly their season looks like.
Yeah, and again, I'm just looking here at some of the guys that they added. Mo Bamba, they just Amir Coffey, Bones Highland, Chris Dunn. It's just anybody that at one point had a little bit of pub. Terrence, they still got Terrence Mann, PJ Tucker, Kai Jones. This is a land of misfit toys. Nicholas Batum. Yeah, they're the ones, Chris, that took the chance on Kevin Porter Jr.
Yikes.
As well.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. By the way, I'm on the Clippers website. They got assistant coach Dante Jones, but he's still in a jersey. He is in a jersey.
That's like
as an assistant coach.
I was playing NBA 2K the other day, and they have Doug Christie on the Kings staff, but it's the player model of Doug Christie on the Kings staff. So he has hair and everything. It's just that's just a mess.
That just can't happen.
No.
All right.
Come on.
Next on the around the NBA slate, Shams Charania, NBC, and Amazon have shown interest in Shams per Michael McCarthy. NBC Universal is eyeing free agent reporter Shams Charania, sources tell Front Office Sports. I've also heard Amazon is interested. The two sports media giants are posed to divide the NBA's TV rights with incumbent ESPN starting with the 2025-2026 season. TNT Sports, the NBA's other longtime incumbent media partner, is suing to retain its rights. Chris, you had a theory on Shams on what he may or may not do, but I guess it was more about you. There's somewhere you think he will stay connected to.
Yeah, he's a complete free agent from my understanding. Like he can go, his contract with the Athletic is up. I think his contract with Stadium Sports or whatever that was is up as well. And I was just thinking, especially as this report that you read is actually a perfect example. As he reports with Law Murray, we've talked with Sam Amick, we've talked with Anthony Slater, a couple other Athletic writers, and essentially how it goes when they do reports like this is it's the local person getting some scoops, and then Shams is kind of always in communication with agents, maybe with teams and things like that. And so it's like a coming together to create a 100%, hey, we have this source from two different sides coming together. I just think it's a really mutually beneficial thing. And I was trying to think, how does Shams stay in the light, right? You still have to stay credible. If he goes and, does something with, the Score Network or the Score app or something, feels like maybe his credibility goes a little bit down.
Right.
If he just tries to build something from the ground up, staying with the Athletic just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. And I think to that point,
and the Athletic needs it too. They still, as Tim Kawakami and, not that those guys are the end all be all, but I think as the Athletic stays around longer, people are going to continue to question, where am I getting my money's worth for this?
Well, I think what becomes the issue is if he tries to go to ESPN, and maybe he has this much power, but Shams isn't going to want to write, or Shams, I don't know how much he's writing.
Yeah.
I know the articles will come out and they'll mostly be collaborations, but Shams normally will have something for the Athletic.
Yeah.
If he goes to ESPN, the ESPN is going to say, no, we want our articles.
Yes.
We want your articles on our platform.
Right.
So I don't know.
Both. Right.
Yeah. I don't know that the Athletic would. What if he can't write for the Athletic or put out articles for the Athletic? Then what's the point?
Yeah. I also just don't think for ESPN specifically too. It's a TV network. I don't know how much TV Shams wants to do. He's pretty robotic in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Not that.
Kay Adams.
That's all of a sudden he gets big personality.
Does she still do basketball? Or
not
is it just
I've seen.
Yeah, is it only football because it's football season?
Because
she just did football.
Never seen
I think
her
it's just
Shams.
different NFL receivers every Tuesday. That's
had
really it.
She's had KD on the show.
Well,
I don't know if they
picks
talk
now.
basketball.
Yeah, he's doing the picks now.
Oh
Yeah. And I've been meaning to catch that.
Isn't it him and
Not
LeBron?
me.
Or who's
LeBron's
doing
doing
DraftKings with Kevin
Oh,
Hart.
Okay.
how
KD's
stupid am I?
FanDuel.
Yes.
Please.
Come
Oh
on.
dude.
man,
We just
Come
need
on. Don't
Steph
get it
to
twisted.
do underdog or
No
something
thanks.
like that.
No.
But that would be perfect.
because he's underdog.
Because he's the underdog.
Yeah, 4
I-
championships.
Davidson, undersized. He's not even 6'3".
Under
Coming
the
up next,
Ankles.
the Lakers and JJ Redick announced the starting lineup. Should we be worried? Are we underselling the third option, number 22 or 28, whatever the heck he was, Austin Reeves and the Los Angeles Lakers? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.